Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you joining from. I'm Upen, coming you live from India. I'm really excited to be your host today. Today's topic is Windsurf versus Cursor AI. I'm one of the my last past live stream. I showed you some powerful feature of Cursor AI. Windsurf is similar, and today we'll compare both to see which works better with the COTI. And of course, I'm not doing this alone. I'm joined by some amazing co-host. Let's start with the Robert. Robert, Mike is yours. Okay, so let's start with the Davi. I think Robert is facing some issues with the mic.
Yeah, thanks, Upendra. So my name is Davi. I'm from COTI, and I'm happy to be here today with you, Upendra, for this session. And thanks for inviting me.
Let's check if Robert can listen us.
Maybe not.
Okay. So let me share my screen. So as we all know, Cursor and Windsurf, an interactive guide to choose your AI ID. So they are similar. So many type of AI tool now in the market, but the if we compare the IDs, current comparison is between the Cursor and Windsurf, as most of the developers are using Cursor, and as we all know, Windsurf has been acquired by the uh, OpenAI, so it's in the news and everyone is start using it. One of the reason it also cheap. As we all know, the rating or the price of the Cursor is $20 a month, and Windsurf is $15 a month. So Windsurf is also cheap. So that's why we're gonna be comparing which one our developers should use, especially for a blockchain or a smart contract developer, which works best for them. So I have created a comprehensive guide for them. So if we talk about the summary, I just put in the front like Cursor, which is best for professional and backend development. And according to me, as I compare and developed, Windsurf works best for the visual builder and prototyping. So if I when I start working and developing some front end, Windsurf work really well with that, and it also provides some many great features which supports the front end development and helps the front end developers a lot. Talking of the Cursor, it also provides some important and great features like docs. You can add a custom docs and custom rules which gonna be helping in your context building or prompt building a lot. It provides a proper context to the LLM tool, and if you are building a professional and a bigger code with a complex logic, these features gonna help you a lot. And in this point, Cursor will help you better than the Windsurf. Now let's compare some, make some comparison with the features. So as I talk about the documentation in the Cursor, you can add your custom document. As I also described all this feature in the past live stream, but I also want to showcase this documentation example here, how you can do it with the Cursor again to refresh your knowledge. So let me just open a Cursor terminal for you guys.
I think it might also be nice for the beginning vibe coders to compare perhaps how ease of use it is to set it up, especially in the beginning, next to the capabilities, of course.
Yeah. So let's just take this example. This is a Cursor screen. Let me just open another one for you. Yeah, just take this example here. In the Cursor, as you can show, see, and I also saw in the last stream, if you go to the setting, cursor setting, there is a feature, and here if you come in the down indexing and doc, so you can properly index and make a documentation of a context or the examples or the documentation or the links if you want to provide from the online documentation of some libraries you're going to be using. So here, as you can see, I have already added for the COTI contract MPC libraries of the COTI. Here you can create another documentation and just copy and paste the link of here, and it will basically going to index this documentation. It's going to crunch the important information and build a proper context of that documentation, and you can directly use that in the prompt. This is a major feature I use in every project, and it helps my prompting better. uh, Within a prompt I can provide a proper context to the AI tool, and that's the major point I shown in the example. It is not provided by the it's not provided by our cursor. Sorry, it's provided by the cursor, not by the Windsurf. And if I talk about the second point, live UI or preview. So I also created a app to show you. Let me directly, to save your time, what I did, I created, I passed the same prompt to both of our tool. Let me show you the prompt. This is in the cursor. Okay, let me just open the prompt. So yeah, this is the prompt I provided here. Okay, not this one.
Also interesting. Who needed the least steps to get there, or which one?
Yeah, I'll also show that. Yeah, because like the first prompt I have chosen to create the front end, a simple front end. As you can see in this directory, I given the prompt, build a professional looking React front end for crypto tool dashboard. It should include the dark theme, three main component. So I have created a tracker app or a crypto tool dashboard where we can track fake like track the wallet. I just asked like, because I was more interested in the UI and the front end, just pick up the fake balance and just showcase properly in the front end. And I have pasted the similar UI with the Windsurf. Let me just, yeah, yeah, this is a complete prompt. I also pasted this same professional looking front end, the dark theme, three main cards, wallet tracker, token converter, recent transactions. I have given this to the Windsurf 2 and to the Cursor 2. And if you want to see the history, how long it took to create the proper app, here within a prompt with few error, it's all by itself. I didn't give any prompt again, and it just created the app. The first simple one, front end app within a prompt. Okay.
And was this set to a specific mode for this, like its own agent mode, or did you adjust it in any way?
Yeah, it was in the agent mode. So like if we compare currently, like I was showing you the main differences, but both of these tool provide the agent mode as well as chat mode. Let me just quickly show you the how long it took. So it just within a prompt created it, but in the cursor, as you already seen, it has taken a lot of time and a lot of prompt, a lot of debugging to create this app. I'll show you guys the app again, but first let me show you the slide, the similarities between them. So as you can see that these are the differences we were talking about, the live preview. As I said, how documentation is powerful for the cursor, then I go for the front end. I show you like how much time it took. But there is a feature which one is live preview. So cursor don't provide you the live preview. What is this live preview means? Like when the cursor build your app, it don't, you cannot preview directly the components that the front end on the cursor id or cursor ui itself. You need to run it properly, debug the issue. When it starts properly running, then you can see it on the browser. But Windsurf directly provide you the live preview in itself, in their window. So that is a future, that's a feature, and that's really emphasized and very important for the front end development. Cursor don't provide that. Windsurf provide this feature. And also the deployment, when you create some front end or some ui, you can directly deploy it through the Windsurf, but you cannot provide or deploy it using the cursor. So these are the main feature which differentiate these tools. As I said, these tool looks similarly because they have taken the open source code of VS Code. They have integrated the AI agent as well as the chat feature of the AI power in it. But still there they provide some features focusing on the specific user. So as I said and I shown in the summary, like I think the cursor focus mainly on the, or mostly on the backend and powerful production ready system, and the Windsurf is focusing on the vibe coders who are the beginner, who just want to create some app or some front end and just want to preview that and then make some editing on that. So these are the feature which all mainly works for the beginners or the vibe coders a lot. So that I can see from the their features too. And if we compare the pricing and model, so as I said, the cursor takes $20 per month and Windsurf take $15 per month. So Windsurf is cheaper. But if we compare the AI model they provide, so Cursor also provides a huge models or a bunch. I guess all the LLM model present currently and which any developers need. But in the Windsurf, as we all know, it don't provide you the some models like Claude, which is most loved by the developers. So Claude is directly not integrated in it. As we know, like it's Claude or uh, it was some type of mm, clash between them, and they removed the Windsurf. Like they don't provide the service to the Windsurf, but Windsurf provide you a service like it bring your own key. You can integrate your own Claude key in the Windsurf, then you can directly use the Claude. But no built-in support for the Claude here in the Windsurf. So uh, this part ChatGPT 4, this is wrong. Like it provides the support of the ChatGPT 4 because it's acquired by the OpenAI. I think this has written wrong. It just don't provide the support of the Claude. Okay, but you can integrate your key with the Claude of the Claude if you can bring. But that's not cost effective. If you bring your Claude key, it took a lot. It cost a lot. So I don't think it's efficient. So if a experienced developer want to build something, he really need Claude for the complex code, and that was not provided in the Windsurf. That's really a great drawback for the Windsurf. And with the cursor, it also provide the max mod. So if you want to build something complex or very complex, and you don't want AI to lag behind just for the pricing or the money, you can on the max mod. Now the pricing is not the case. Like it will cost you a lot, but it will work with the max power. Okay, the code will run faster and with the most reasoning power it can provide you. So it also provide you here. That's why I said like the cursor was built for the professional developer, I guess, and for the seasoned and experienced developer. That's why cursor is loved by anyone or everyone. So let's just deep dive into the features, as have given the example of what's difference between them. But there are some cool feature. Maybe I can show you guys the to refresh your memory. As I already show you in the cursor, it provides the document docs integration. So if you ask me, like, Windsurf also provides the doc integration. Yeah, Windsurf provides the doc integration, but it only provides the it don't provide you the custom doc integration. You cannot add your link. Like, if I go and search in the Windsurf's docs, let me just show you the example.
Yeah, this would be relevant indeed also for starting vibe coders to understand, okay, how do I create this context before diving into my application? Yeah. Also, of
So
course,
if
in the
you
meantime, any viewers have any questions, feel free to ask them, of course, via our Telegram or Discord or at the YouTube live stream. Yeah.
Yeah, so if I open a clean project, here, if you can see, this is the chat box in the cursor. And if I open in the Windsurf,
We're looking at the stream window at the moment. At least I am.
okay, I guess I need to share the entire screen.
Yeah.
So like in the cursor, if you go here, you can see so many features here which are really important if you are creating creating some complex logic here. So to refresh your memory, here, basically here you give the any prompt, like create a React app, let's say. So if you are giving any prompt here, it provides you two mod, agent mod or ask mod. So what these two mod do, agent mod actually build something for you. Like if you give a prompt, it's going to set up the whole folder structure, create a front end app and run it for you. And basically here also, if you add the auto mod, it will select the model, LLM model by itself. You can also of the auto mod and select the LLM model from one here, so it will only call this LLM model. uh, but this automatic mod only, if you want your agent fully do work for you, automatically fix all the issue and all. So in the cursor, I feel that if you put it on auto mod, it works really smooth. So I pick it, or especially if you are a beginner, I suggest you to use the auto mod. I already said in the previous live stream. And here, if you want to to improve your context and to improve your prompt, you want to put some context, like I want to create a React app, or let's suppose create a COTI contract. Okay. So when you create a smart contract for the COTI, you need to provide some information regarding the COTI smart contract, because maybe your this AI tool maybe don't know about the COTI blockchain a lot. So what you can do, so I need to have some documentation I can share here. So first thing, you can directly share a web link here. So it also provides the web feature. If you select the web feature, you can directly select any COTI. Let me search some link. Okay, let's suppose I can give directly here the COTI hard hat GitHub repo. Okay, I can directly give it here. It will go and get the information from it and provide a proper context here. Okay, so as to create the smart contract, you need to have set up a hard hat template. It will do it for you regarding the COTI blockchain. But if you also want to provide some, you know, some documentation, like searching something from the web, it will take time. Okay, so speed also matter while developing something. What you can also do, you can provide the documentation which you have indexed previously. So I already provided this COTI contract hard hat information. So what happened, when I added this document here, like when I added this link in the documentation here, sorry. So what this document do, it crunch all the information and properly indexed it to be used in the context previously. So it will not take much time to go and get the information from the COTI GitHub. So that's why I prefer documents a lot. You can also provide it in the @ web form. So what I can do, I can go doc and provide this documentation reference here, and it will work similarly. Okay. Also,
And
there is,
for my understanding, these links you added to be indexed, or are those live links? As in, does it update itself, or is it like, does it make a local copy of a version for speed?
those the GitHub link I has provided was the live on the GitHub. And this documentation link here, like what I did, I paste the GitHub link here, and it crunch the information and save in the local environment. And with the time to time, it is it when you gonna be refresh it, it will go and again crunch the information from the web. Okay. But
Awesome.
what makes
So
it
it
different
syncs.
here, like, yeah, it provides the proper context in index it properly to be used as a context here. So these are the feature we can use, to provide the proper context. As you can see, like when I refresh it, it start crunching it again, you know so it will get the current information from here. So there is also a feature like you can connect GitHub, you can go cursor rules. So cursor rule is rule file you can provide in the project. What are the cursor rule file, if I tell you? So there are some rules you follow when you develop something, like you have experience in the contract development, like if what type of demo you want to create. Like if I'm going to create a smart contract to check the integration between two chain and to figure out if things were working or not. So we want to create a smaller project with a hard hat with simple deployment script and one testing script or one integration script. But if you don't provide this information in the context, so what this you just say, like set up create this contact and set up a hard hat. So what your AI will do, it will create a complete setup, it will create deployment script, and it will create a testing script of 100 test, and it will run for you, which was not rated. So which type of your style of coding and what exactly you want from the AI don't know the the amount of in-depth development you wanting from it. So that's why there are some rule feature in the cursor. So you can provide the rules, like I have created the COTI hard hat setup MDC file. So what this rule actually do, so okay, let me take another example. I don't think I have created this one. Yeah, like I have created the private type rule here. Okay, and if I go in the rule file, let me show. Yeah, it has a proper rule how the private type of COTI blockchain behaves. Let me stop it. I didn't want it to use it for now. How this private type of COTI behaves. So like this is when we give the prompt, this is a new blockchain, a COTI blockchain, and it has a privacy feature, and there are gonna be private types in it, and there are some private logics in it. If you want to use these private features and private logics, but your AI tool don't know have no information regarding that. And if you providing the document as well, like I also have the document for it. Let me show you. I also given the example of MPC core contract documentation, as well as COTI MPC libraries documentation. So it has all the information of the private type, but maybe this doc also become a huge chunk of code, and your AI will miss what exactly what you want and what the specific point you want to focus. And as you go become the experience in this tool, you got to know like AI start hallucinating with other with so much information. For that you can create the rules, like in this I have especially define like which type works with it. Like the IT type works when we call externally call the contract, and in the COTI if you are internally calling to smart contract, you just need to use GT type. So all these rules you need to specify here. It comes with the experience. When you start this using tool, you don't need to be a experienced developer. You just need to uh, practice these tools. Like if you start vibe coding with this tool, you start getting the result. And if after having a good chat with this AI tool or AI agent of the cursor, you can at the last you can ask the cursor like according to our history, you can suggest me a proper prompt, how I would have used the cursor rules to make this proper, so that I didn't have to waste so much time, and uh, could have created a good prompt from the initial. So cursor gonna be helping you and suggesting you. So as you can see, like all these rule I have created, I didn't created it myself. I have created a app or a smart contract on the cursor, and this uh, on that repo I go on the cursor. If you can see, there's also a feature. If
Yeah.
you type slash, there's a feature generate cursor rule. You just ask like go through our repo and generate rule for future, something like that. Okay, we don't have complete repo right now, but you can do that. So
Will
why
it then
I'm
take those rules from the docs that you provided, like
no
APC core? And,
it will provide the it will go analyze your project. Like right now I don't have this complete project here, so it will not work now, but later in this video or when I create a demo, I can show you the exact way how it works. But I actually shows this demo how it works in our last live stream, where I in depth go into the cursor. But the way I'm showing you here, like all this feature the cursor have, these all feature also are in the Windsurf. These are the main feature here, as you can see. And now let's move to the Windsurf. And if you see here, we have Windsurf. We can open another. So in the cursor, we call it agent or the chat box. Here we call it cascade. Both work similarly. In the cursor, we select agent or chat. Here we select write or chat. Both work similarly. The write will code for you, and the chat will just answer and analyze the code for you and answer according to that. But it also have feature. If we type at the rate, you can see we have the web feature similarly, which works in the cursor. Okay, it has files. You can give the example of sub file. It have code context, directories, which is folder. You can give the context of some folder. It also have docs. So as you can ask me, like you are mentioning only cursor have the doc, not WinSub, but WinSub also have the docs. Yeah, it has the doc. And if you open, it has uh, have the information of all the major libraries documentation. And I suggest if you are using WinSub, you need to use this documentation library. But in case I want to use some new tools, let's suppose Hyperlane. I was in my last project, I was using Hyperlane, interchain blockchain communication. uh, as we are in the H alphabets, there is no hyperlane documentation. So there always gonna be some libraries which are not present here, and you cannot manually add that here. So that is not the feature present here, and it will not also have the COTI libraries. We cannot provide here. So that's why put it mm, in the doc, like the documentation feature I use a lot in the cursor, and I don't follow and I don't find it in the windsurf. And if we go down, it also have the rule feature. Yeah, so it provides you the rule feature. Okay, so that was one of the most important feature, the documentation, the custom documentation feature provided by the cursor but not by the windsurf. If we compare another feature which is provided by the windsurf but not the cursor, let me show you. So as you can see, I have shown you uh, in the windsurf I provided a prompt to create a dashboard. It's just created in a one prompt. Okay, run this dashboard. Let's just try to run this. So it is running, and you can see the feature. There is a feature, Windsurf browser. You can open it on the Windsurf browser, which is you can open it on the external browser, or you can open it in this ID. So if you open this in this ID, you can check, you can preview the dashboard here. And why this important? Like you can say, like you can also view this in the browser that don't make any difference. So I wanted to show you that why it makes difference when you open this in the in this IDE. What happened, it provides you the send element feature. So what this send element do, you can select any element here. So if you have developed any front-end app or UI app for now using the AI, you have feel this problem, like you have created this great UI, but there are some elements which are not correct, and when you go and give the prompt to fix this element, the whole UI breaks and some another element breaks, and it may have remove some element. So this is a problem with the UI developer, and this is the tool which requires a lot, and it provides you here. You can select only you can select this one, you want to change the name. If you click on it, the element is mentioned here, and in the prompt you can write that, like change this name and write some another name here. So that's the really important feature which is not
Very
present.
user friendly.
Yeah, and very beginner friendly, I guess, because if you're a beginner, you don't know how, you don't have much technical you know terminology. Maybe you don't know what we call it, this element, as we call it now bar. And there are some nomenclature terminology for the front end developer, so that you can point out in the to the AI tool, but you don't know. But you can easily point out by your mouse. So it provides you this feature, and I think for the front end development, that's why I said this is a very powerful tool for the front end development. As well as it just created it in a one prompt, and it's working properly. You can also open it in the browser. Yeah, it's also working in the browser. So okay, that was a powerful feature of the cursor. But if we no of the windsor, but if we go to the cursor, I provided the same dashboard, uh, same prompt. It took so many attempts to fix the issue. It was struggling with the tailwind CSS, and at last it also created the app. Let me just go down, let's check if it's working. Try to check in the browser. Yeah, it's working. It has provided us this dashboard, and as you can see, the UI is also good. The UI of the Windsurf was looking better, but this UI also looks good, but it don't have that element feature. There is no feature to preview this. There is no feature to view in the browser. you need to go to the browser and open that. So this is the manual work you need to do, and you cannot point out like, I want to change this token converter name, and I don't know the real technical terms to do that, so we cannot do that. Maybe I can write the token converter and ask it, maybe it can follow. But if I want to change this color of this number, how to point out to the front end, for the front end developer? So that was the major problem, I guess, and Windsurf solved that.
Yeah. Do you know if Windsurf is using your default browser in the background to display this, or how is it something they built in?
It has built in the preview browser in it. And one thing I also want to show, Windsurf provide you inbuilt deploy your application feature. Like, that's also a very important feature provided needed for the front end developer. Like, if you have created some demo app and you want to deploy it to showcase your your teammate, your manager, you can directly click on deployment, click on deploy. It's going to deploy your app, and it will provide you a link, and you can directly send it link to send anyone who can open it in their browser. So as you can say, it's working with the Netlify, but it's doing for you. So when you click it, you can deploy it, and this is also a major tool for the front end developer. So that's why I said, for the cursor case, it's better for the front end developer. And if
Is it using some hosting service behind it, or it's provided by Windsurf?
I guess it's using Netlify, as it mentioned.
Netlify, right.
I think it reminds me of Replit. They also are for deployment now, right?
Yeah, that's what it said. Like the V0, Replit, these tools also do that. But for the ID, this is first time Windsurf is doing that, because they don't provide these features. And if we go to our slide back, so now let's have some information regarding both. So as we mentioned, doc is provided by the cursor, but not the Windsurf. But what Windsurf provide? Highly automated cascade agent, which has more feature than the cursor. It provides the cursor rules, which is also provided in the Windsurf. Cursor provides max mod, which is not present in the Windsurf, but it provides click to edit UI, which we have seen. That was a really important feature. And it also, we can say it's a advanced code based tools. So like it provides the feature like documents, and also it can manage the professional and bigger code base. It has a powerful agent. So, and if we come for the conclusion or the recommendation, if we talk about the front end, who wins? The Windsurf. Obviously Windsurf wins. For the backend developer, I suggest Cursor, because it also have some feature to provide the proper context. And the max mod, or someone who is want to create some solo prototype or solopreneur, if we say so, a Windsurf wins here. Or for the power user, of someone who is a experienced developer, Cursor works, because you don't need to provide APIs here and all. And if you want to provide or use your APIs, Cursor also provide this feature. You can use APIs of any model if you want to provide. Windsurf don't provide here. Windsurf only provide API support for the Claude LLM only. So I guess these are the features which I also shows the similar feature, as well as the which differentiate both of them. Now let's just try to create something using the COTI blockchain here. And let me just open the our AI tool. What we'll be trying to do, we'll try to paste a similar prompt to both the tool.
So the fact that it says one-click deployment, no touching of Git or any CI/CD pipeline, I'm assuming it runs all the checks for dependencies there then. But I was also assuming it would be the same for both editors, or and when it's trying to compile. Is that the case? Might be a redundant question.
It will, one-click solution is provided by Windsurf only.
No, I mean in terms of if you the dependencies, if you have inserted anything that it would, you can have those checks as well with Cursor, right? But
Yeah.
you have to specifically ask for them then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so here we have Windsurf and here we have Cursor. And let me just open another window. I just mistakenly added here some details. And what we need to do, provide a similar prompt to both of them. So I have created a simple prompt for to create a private token and a staking app. So one can, let me paste it here. So here this is a prompt: create a simple project on COTI testnet. Let's just add here in this directory. Create a simple project for the COTI testnet. Write two smart contract. One will be a private smart contract, another contract which will stake the tokens on the behalf of user. So basically what we are going to do, we are going to create a private smart staking contract for the user. And I also provided like the flow. A person comes and mint, for that we can mint 1,000 token to that person, and then the flow person need to approve the contract, staking contract, and then he can log the 500 tokens in it. We'll be checking it on the COTI testnet for now. But we can, as we are in the Cursor, we can use our Cursor rules. One is private type MDC I have created, so how to interact with the private type. And another, we can use the Cursor documentation. I can select COTI hard hat because project need to be set up a hard hat project here. And we can also provide the COTI contract examples here, so it can go and fetch some example from the COTI blockchain, and MPC core contract here to understand the MPC library. So these tools will help a lot. So that's what I said. We can use these feature in the Cursor. Okay. So let's just ask the Cursor. It is start generating the code for you. As you can see, it has gone all the examples and start creating demo app for you. Let it create that, and what we'll do, we go in the Windsurf. We'll provide the same prompt. Actually, we don't have docs here, so what we can do here, we can mention use, and okay, we don't have docs here. We can use web here, and I can provide the link of the hard hat. So we just try to use all the features which is present, and let's try to check if they provide the same result or not. So I will go to the COTI GitHub repo and try to find out the links and paste it here. The first link going to be the COTI contracts. Again, give the link of the web and try to find out the hard hat. I'll provide the hard hat template link. And also
It would almost be nice if you're able to export the other documentation, like an NPC, and then import
yeah.
it. Not NPC, MCP, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. And we also have the feature of rules here. So we can mention the rule here in the starting. I have added a COTI type rule. So these are all the features it provides. Let's just try to build contract using that. So as you can see, first thing it goes to the rule and analyze that. It's in the rule to if you are interacting with the user from the I mentioned the rule by the TypeScript, use IT type. If you are making a cross contract call, use ZT type. That's the important rule. It goes through that, and then it goes through the libraries or the repos we have provided, the links, and it try to find out. As you can see, it is making outline from these repo links, and it is start creating the private contract. As we can see, it has taken the right example. Yeah, import the proper library. I think that's a mistake. Till then, just check what all being done by Cursor. Yeah, it has also created two contract. One is private token, and it has already used the OpenJetline library. That's wrong. Let's check if Cursor improves that, but we need to improve the private token library. I think for now, Windsurf is doing great. It is using proper libraries and all.
It looks done, or it's still iterating?
Yeah, it looks done.
Windsurf uses correctly the privacy feature, and Cursor is using the standard ERC
Yeah.
client token.
Normally,
Yeah,
ERC.
it's interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like, so what I need to do, I need to provide the private key. Let me do that privately. deploy contract and test the functions. Use my private key. So we don't need to do that. It's my private key, but it's a dummy private key, so I'm providing it in the chat. Yes, provided. It provided the correct RPC. It provided the. I think Windsurf is doing really good. Okay, so cursor is also done here. But it went too wrong. Let's just try to help it. Or what we can do, try to use the Claude model here.
And now we're going to see the difference. Or do you have the model also enabled in Windsurf?
Yeah, maybe like I was using this cursor from the morning, about 4 to 5 hours. So maybe in the automatic mode, it is like I face in the cursor. In the morning, it gives the good result, but when it comes to the evening or night, like its performance decreases. It automatically balance the request, I guess. So let's just ask it to use this premium model.
Just because it's exhausted its requests?
Yeah, maybe. Let's help him.
Yeah, I remember someone said, I forgot to attribute, to see these tools not as tools, but more as colleagues. So sometimes you have to help a colleague understand something and then help them on their way again. Yeah. But they will continue to learn from you, so they'll do better every time. And I don't want to anthropomorphize them, of course, but still.
Yeah. So I have given some hint. Let's check. I didn't explain a lot. I just given some hint. And let's check this one. What's happening? So it's running the deployment script. The script got failed. Yeah, it's failing with the private mint token. Let's check like if it can do it by itself. So for your information, like I tried to build a moderate level of contract here, not so simple. Like creating a simple ERC20 is easy task, and Windsurf has adjusted and created it properly. But when it comes to create a staking contract, which going to use make a cross contract call with the private ERC20 contract, it it takes time, and most of the AI tool fails here, and we need to guide it. I already tried done a live stream on that also. In the previous live stream, you can check. We have to guide the AI tool a lot to create such type of smart contract. So let's check. Like I'm using Windsurf first time. Maybe it can surprise me. So it's remove the private mint function. Okay, remove the return of private mint. Yeah, now it's using the proper mint function. Yeah, the private mint, there were no any private mint function. It was right. So I guess it's doing. So it gives you reply what it means for deployment. You cannot mint, approve, lock, or withdraw real token on the COTI tension privacy valid encrypted value. The script will always fail or revert. Okay, so let's just move with the smart contract deployment first. Let's check like if it can compile the contract or deploy it, because it's using the MPC libraries or private ERC20 libraries. If it can create, it's able to create a contract which can compile using these libraries. That's also a good task with just a 2 prompt. And if we check the cursor, it also slow down, taking a lot time. Check out the contracts first. Private token, it has removed the ERC20 library, and yeah, it implemented the correct library now. I didn't want it to provide the ownable feature because it will also complex this logic and it will take time. So I think in upcoming prompt we can provide that. So what I said, yeah, accept it, man. It says the endpoint is incorrect. What we can do, let's just try to provide the proper endpoint. I think that's the correct endpoint. What we can do here, we can use the let's just use the, if my window is visible here, like my browser is visible.
Yep, beautiful and green.
Okay, so just provide some COTI information for help here. If you don't have the COTI information or COTI network information, so provide, we can ask the COTI AI. You can always take small help. So it provides you the complete COTI testnet detail. We can copy that and help it. Here we are using the ChatGPT 4.1. So as we can see, cursor is still facing compilation error and it's solving it by itself. It's failing compilation error in the, let's just check the contract first. It started working properly with the private contract and then it ruined it. Like, I don't know. It just use the proper libraries and then it is removing. I need to fix the type compatibility issue in the contract. Let me create simplified version that demonstrate the COTI privacy concept without revealing the actual COTI contract library. Okay, we need to stop it. Use, let's just again mention the rule.
It's literally building workarounds. Yeah.
Yeah, like it failed with the MPC library, and it just removed the MPC library.
Yeah, fair. If you didn't define, it's not allowed. Yeah.
It's funny. Sometimes when we went into these issues, the sometimes it recommends you to mock, I mean, the code instead of integrating it with the
Ah,
real thing.
finding the way of least resistance.
Yeah, exactly. The least resistance. Yeah.
Yeah.
I tried to make it work, but let me mock it for you so you can have something working.
What would you need to define that actually in your prompt as a hard request? As okay, you have to use these, and no escapes allowed, or is it
Yeah,
usually well
maybe.
interpreted?
Yeah, it's a good. I'm not sure if you can like force, I think, using the prompt, but maybe you can
We'll know. We'll
have
know.
some something that you can add to the prompt to, yeah, to emphasize that.
Yeah, so that's why I choose this example in the live stream. That's a moderate one for the AI, and I like through this example we can properly see the difference between the Windsurf and the Cursor. Which one wins? Okay, deployment successful. It says it has deployed the contract. Let's check. It also provided me the link. If we open the link, testnet link, and it gives you the contact detail. There is a transaction, and it was 3 minutes ago. Yeah, I guess Windsurf is winning here. It has deployed the contract. Okay, let me move here. And it
Cursor
has
could still come by on elegance, perhaps.
okay, resume with token action. Once you have encrypted value, integrate the front end on. Okay, it's focusing on the front end integration for the no. Okay, let me say don't use front end, just use Ether.js library. So actually, it's stuck with the encryption. Like when calling with the encrypted value, what we can do, we can provide some links here. Go through.
Was that because we didn't define COTI users in the initial context?
No, we have provided the context, but we didn't provide to make the encrypted interaction. We need to provide some examples here. Yeah, so we can say like we didn't provide the proper context. We can also improve our context. So we can provide the examples again, or COTI ethers example, I guess. Okay, just try. I'm just trying to provide the library link here. Maybe it can get it from it. If not, we'll try to provide an example. Winsub is doing so well, like we just forget about the cursor. Let's go and have a look. Okay. It kinda use another library, the right library, but the amount of code it provided, I really didn't needed that. It created a complete But if we try to check out some functionalities here, the constructor is also trying to put the modifier here, private mint. So it's using the mint functionality correctly. And it also provides the ZT value interaction for the cross contact call. Yeah, that will be needed. And will not be using private transfer here. I didn't ask. So I think it has created a complete example, but it may fail with some functionalities. If you look into the staking, it provided you the reentrancy guard, super secure. It's trying to make the contract super secure using the reentrancy guard library here. I didn't ask that. But if we can see the speed, like Windsurf is producing the code really fast. Okay, let's see what it done. It goes through the user AS key. Okay. Windsurf is doing really great here. Okay, the summary is the context was deployed and the script logic is correct. The only blocker is the COTI onboarding generation for the wallet. Once that is onboarded, the script will work. Okay. Now, if we have the example of code onboarding in the hard hat template or not, if you can remember, or I can check.
In the template, I don't think so.
Okay, because I think we need to provide a small help here to the Windsurf, but Windsurf is doing really great. Let me check. Yes. So we can provide the TypeScript example. COTI is DK TypeScript example. Yeah. As I look into the example, okay, Windsurf is really slow. Okay, cursor is really slow here. You can check.
I'm just amazed by the amount of desktops you have running here. It's really nice for the overview. Yeah. Is it rebuilding the staking contract, and why?
Maybe it's facing the issue with the deployment. It's completely hallucinating here. Take how to get AS key from using Just try to provide another GitHub repo which has some example, maybe for the AES key and the onboarding. It also suggested like see the example in the onboarding section of the COTI. Okay, let's just try to check the scripts here. It's using COTI Ether. And there is a testing script through which it's going to so private token staking contract. Still a way. There are so many things still needed.
So it suggests to rerun, but there's a risk it would hallucinate again then? Or would still miss features? What would be the good next step?
For the cursor, right? I think we need to start with another chat. Like if the cursor start hallucinating a lot, we need to start with another chat, because it already removed another time the libraries I suggested these libraries and it's still not using that. So
okay, so we got to coach it to make sure it can
just try to provide the perfect example to to the Windsurf first. Or for the Windsurf, what we can do, we can use the help of the again COTI doc. Yeah, what we can do here, we can go to the COTI doc again and ask provide an example to get AES key of user account using COTI Thirsh.
I have also shared with you an example on how to onboard an account using TypeScript. Maybe it can help as an example, right, to provide the AI. It's from COTI Hard Hat template.
Yeah, let's just try this example provided by our AI, COTI AI first, right?
Yeah, that's the same, yeah, because it uses generate or recover AES, the same methods, right?
Yeah. And I think we need to stop our cursor for now.
Consuming all the credits.
Yeah. And I think the best option is create another folder, because
There's no point of which we could start from previous iterations to see if we can get to another result.
yeah, because like it already created a, like the contract it has created here, the private token contract was right. If we can try to reverse to previous version, let's do it from here. No, we don't want to go to the start point. We can go to the second reverse point. Here. If we jump back to some point where it has some, no, not that one.
It has to be one where we can still enforce different behavior.
Yeah. No. I think we need to restore the previous point, the starting point, because there are so many alteration here.
Fair enough. Also, for the live stream, yeah.
And still it has so many code left. We need to remove that too. It's completely didn't remove all the code. We just try to jump back. So what we can do, we can try small, I guess. Use, we say, let's and create a private small contract using COTI library, and we can provide you the contact examples, naming private token or easy. Let's start small, and if we check the Windsurf, it says unable to onboard the user. Okay, onboard script is not working. Let me
Is
find
that
out.
specifically the script, or does it run into an error with the contracts?
No, it's running error with the script because like onboarding process is only depend on the script. So it is not using the right functionality. We need to guide it to the right functionality, I guess. Generate or recover AES key. I think that's the right function. And it's failing here. We can even try by ourselves. Let's check in the terminal what is the error. Check and print the public key. Error. So the address is right. Let's try again.
Is this account funded, right? Because
Yeah,
it's a pre-requirement to have some funds before onboarding. As an alternative, we can also onboard users manually, right? Using our playground as like last option, but it's also possible.
yeah, we can take that example also. Let it try to solve it if it can provide the proper example, or we can also provide the AES key by onboarding using our platform.
Yeah, the method is correct. It's generate or recovery, yes. So it looks correct.
Okay, let's try again. C is unable to onboard user. Okay, let me just try to check if I have proper funding or not. Maybe I use the fund.
maybe now we just should just start our own faucet at one point. Yeah. In the amount of Discord visits we've had in the streams.
Yeah. So what we can do for now, we can use sandbox, COTI sandbox here. Import our private key here. And onboard our account. Okay, let's just try to on boarded. Let's just check if it can use this onboarding key properly or not. And till now, just move to the cursor. Let's try to create a private smart contract. A lot bigger than we expected. Update this contract. I just want mint function. And also use some libraries. So currently we are running the deployment script again. Okay. We can also provide this error in the chat, like if you can select from here, it gives you the option of chat. You click in. I didn't get that.
Have you provided the encryption key?
Yeah, but it's still trying to, create the key by itself. It said command L. Okay. Still don't try to get AES key. Just use key I provided. Let's paste it again.
stop resisting. The incompatibility it mentions in terms of version, is that, do we need
Yeah,
to
like
sync its local input again to make sure it's updated, or
okay, so it's asking me like smart contract don't accept the AES key. You need to encrypt it. That's what I'm telling the AI to do that. I want you to
it's failing
encrypt
to admit that it doesn't know how yet.
value over this AI AES key by using COTI ethers function. Yeah, let's just check where it reaches. Mhm. Okay. We don't need these ways. Take example. Um,
So it imported those libraries on its own,
Which library?
the ones you're now removing. As you
Yeah,
say,
like
don't need.
these libraries are required for secure contract. Like if you want someone to make the owner, because like anyone cannot mint the tokens, right? If someone has the authority to mint the token, so that's why it provided the ownable functionality as well as possible. Like if some attack happen with the ERC20 token or the token you deployed, so to fix that they provide these libraries open Zeppelin. But for the demo, we don't require that because uh, it will increase the functionalities, and that's why I just removed it for now. But if you are going to create some token for the real use, then you need to provide all this functionality, and you can easily understand this and get this information which libraries are important. Like Cursor itself implemented it, but you can ask the chat GPT or any AI tool, it can guide you there.
It just assumed based on probability that it would be required for this request, and it pulled them.
Yeah. Okay. Upgrade and test script. I think it has taken some right example for now. Wallet encrypt value. In the wallet, it used set AS key. And it is trying to upgrade to Ether. So COTI Ethers was developed on the EtherJS library. So it's trying to upgrade the EtherJS library for now. If we are using EtherJS here or not, let's just check. Yeah, as we are also using Ethers here, and now it's upgraded to the 6th version. Okay, said like RPC endpoint is not healthy, but I don't think that's the problem here.
I think he copy pasted that one from documentation, right? That's the standard that the AI gives back.
In that
Recording AI.
situation, I think when I work with the cursor, it solves this problem by itself. Like this problem comes, but when I work with the cursor, it solved it by itself. Let's just ask it to solve it. I think I exhausted the cursor because it used to work really great. Now it just created a smart contract, private smart contract. Let's just try to deploy and test it first. Through that we can check like if like cursor was hallucinating with the smart contract, but if it can integrated the onboarding process as well as COTI ethers properly or not. So what we are trying to deploy and testment function here, and let's just check if we have proper functionalities. It installs so many extra libraries here. I can see it has the deployment script here. Yes, failing with the curse RPC endpoint. So what we can do here, we can again provide some examples. First of all, we need to provide the COTI hard hat config. It's not the issue. Check compose here. First, I'll again provide this example. So I need to continuously, copy paste the example and go through the links. If I, save this documentation in my local Windsurf like cursor, it's gonna be easy. That's why I thought like cursor work well here. We'll also provide another example. And what I'm thinking here, I don't have much credits left on the Windsurf. So let's just check how much it can take, because I'm using the pro version here, like the ChatGPT 4.1, not the free version. Maybe we need to move to that. Okay, so it started and tested it on the local. It was bad prompt. I need to specify that I want to test it on the testnet. It start hallucinating again, maybe. Just stop that. Now again deploy and test. I need to mention the contract again because it created another contract. On COTI testnet, use my private key. So I need to provide the private key again here. I just want to check if it can use the AS key or generate the AS key by itself or not. And I also need to provide the network information. Okay, just ask it. Yeah, so it also faced the pending block is not available error, as we were facing on the Windsurf. Now there seems a issue with the gas estimation on the COTI testnet. So it's modifying the script while Windsurf was continuously giving me the same error, like the problem with the RPC. Let's see if this issue can be solved by the cursor or not. So here we can see while vibe coding or with using the AI tools, we are using the most used by the developers when it comes to the backend or the Web3 development or the smart contract. And when we move to the some complex smart contracts, these AI tools start hallucinating, and we need to provide some hands-on examples there. So we need to always ready and prepared with some examples. We need to go through and do some analysis before start creating, or while creating we need to start analyzing and digging up and providing the perfect information for the AI. Otherwise start hallucinating in different directions. And this is the perfect example because we are using the most powerful tools like Windsurf and Cursor here.
But to be fair, we're using, of course, functionalities which aren't very widely documented and don't have many examples yet. So we do need to feed it a bit.
Yeah, that's what I said, because we are using a blockchain which has a newer functionalities, privacy, and also for that these tools are not trained. If you go for the development on the Ethereum, which has a proper documentation and all, and there are so many use cases and examples, as you can say, it correctly deployed it. So it, as I said, like Cursor solved this block issue because there is a issue, and it solved by deploying and updating the script, and it successfully deployed the contract. And now it's trying to interact with the function, and it is facing the issue, and it's trying to make the interaction script and updating this interaction script. So here I can see exactly like Cursor is doing really well with the COTI ethers or JavaScript code, and Windsurf did really well with the it was really fast creating the perfect contract, taking the proper example. But when it comes to the deployment and all, it's still failing here. and it is still facing the Node.js error issues. So it says like minting function is still reverting. What could be the issue? It's trying to debug that. Maybe there can be issue with the contract itself. If we check the mint functions in the library, let's just try to go through the libraries.
I was kind of hoping one of the two would be fully functional. So at one point you could just feed it as example to the other and see if it understands it correctly.
Yeah, that's how we can do that. Like take the example script from here and try to use there. But that's what like dealing with the AI, that's a rigorous process. And if we go through some examples here, let me okay, it reverts something, it returns something, and we are not using it for now. It takes the GT value. Yeah, we are doing it right. Check deployment script, and okay, we can also provide some examples. Again, if it's failing, what we can say, if we check the Windsurf, it says the mint function is reverting. Okay, but it deployed the contract successfully. What the issue here persists is the mint functions is reverting. And if we check the, it kind of created a huge code. Mint function revert. check.
We should have just started a poly market on this as well at the beginning.
Check deployment only.
Yeah.
Okay, we will try to check only deployment script is working or not, because initially it deployed the contract perfectly.
Mhm.
Now it's facing some issue with the Node.js. Maybe the reason is it used the Ether's new version. We can check or compare here.
I did notice a Node.js version complaint at one point in the feedback.
Sorry.
I did notice at one point there was a mention of potential Node.js outdated version
Yeah, but maybe
somewhere.
it's kind of hallucinating again, because I asked it to fix the node version and then do that. It can do that. Like it's not working with the AI proper node version. It can decrease the node version, but that happens with both the tool, right? Because both the tool are using the same node version. But if I try to check the package of ethers here, don't happen. I think there may be the issue with the smart contract. It's trying to update the contract. Let's check if it gives any error. Yeah, it faces the same issue. Pending blog is not available, but cursor has solved that issue. Why it's coming in the between, and it has solved that issue. It can deploy easily. If you try to provide this code here, there is another way. Take example from this code file. So different example. Oh, no, no, that's not the issue.
It does pose it pretty confident. So for new users, it's hard to imagine what would be hallucinations and whatnot.
What? But it's actually doing really great. If we can check what it does, it updated the contract. Let me check. And what it says, like it added the event above, and it says like the first line is failing. We are converting it to the GT amount, and that's right. Set public 64, U64. Yeah, you're right. No, that's not the issue. Can fail at any point because it's a atomic function. I think we have passed a lot time on it.
We're approaching the 2-hour mark on this one.
Yeah.
What is our longest broadcast, actually? We're going to beat it today? Let's see.
It's kind of putting so much effort, like continuously changing the contract.
In summary, you did already voice a preference for each of the roles you would have if you would use these tools, right? Depending on what you're looking for, as you showed in the presentation.
Yeah. Like as you can see, like Windsurf is struggling with the Node.js code. Contract is working perfectly fine here. Within a prompt, it created the perfect contract. Okay, we can give the contract example. We can also follow that.
Yeah, so at this point, basically, if both our virtual colleagues have 75% of the solution, maybe we can together come to the 100%. If we have them help each other.
It says like the issue is definitely with the COTI testnet MPC infrastructure. I checked everything. Like I, it shows like cursor is like really frustrating.
And we're absolutely sure that it used the like the RPC details and everything you gave directly from the
No,
code.
like the RPC is working because like it deployed the contract correctly. Like
Oh,
if
fair
the
enough. Yeah.
deployment is successful, then the RPC is working. And your code is correct. Match COTI official example. The error is 100% caused by Node.js version. It is a struggle with the Node.js version. And okay, let's just run this script. But I know like there is no issue with the Node.js version. It just gives the warning.
So we would need to tell it to ignore the warning.
Yeah, basically like if you ignore the warning, there should not be the issue with the running the code and all. Okay, you so, maybe it has created so many contract. Maybe it kind of using the previous one. Sometime we need to clean the code. Try to deploy and test contract. Take. I can give it the same take out from. I think today's example of live coding with the Windsurf and Cursor is a real example how this tool behaves.
Yeah, exactly. We can see exactly how those two tools behaves, and also it's interesting to see the differences, and how the results changes along. I mean, the time, right? Because we're in a 2-hour live stream now, and at this time maybe it starts hallucinating
Yeah.
more. Uh, but it's interesting to see in the real how it works, right?
Let's check the contact address if it's present on the testnet or not, like the deployment address. Okay, so contact was deployed successfully and it tries to interaction and it failed.
Is the type correct for this one? From the input data? If it's a private token, shouldn't that be?
No, like for the minting, we can provide these types.
Okay. Just trying to understand where the error comes from.
Yeah, we do. So it's also be able to deploy the both contract here. Let's check that. Yeah, just deployed here. So now with example, this one was able to at least deploy the contract. Now what we can do, try testing mint function of contract. Okay, it says like minting successful here. Wow. Yeah, it just called the function and it's successful here. That's what I said. Like, if you can check, the Windsurf was struggling with the how to interact with the EtherJS COTI EtherJS library. Once that issue solved, the smart contract successfully worked. Like, it just uh, deployed it and minted it in a go. And if we can remember, we just in the standing we just gave a prompt and it just created these contract in a go, and these contracts are working here in the Windsurf. As you can see, it minted at this address with 1000 PBUSDT. We can also ask write a script to test balances. So check if the balance is right or not. And this one is facing issue with the contract, and if we try to provide this contract here, try this contract.
So could we have run into that problem sooner by releasing like generating a test script, or was this part of that already? Our own test script.
Sorry, like which part?
I think you mentioned earlier in the session, or at one of the previous sessions, that you can generate your own test script to test all the functions you're trying to build in your contracts, and with that, you have that iterate over every new version you generate, so that you can quickly pick up any potential risks, let's say. And could we have seen this, or could we have run into this sooner, is the question basically. And how would we have done that?
Yeah, like you are asking how can we decrease this time, right? So
Basically, yeah.
yeah, the the development time. Yeah, so like as I can see, to provide the proper context, and I think what went wrong here, maybe we have provided more examples. Like, if we can create a specific example, if we have provided the specific example from the starting, like in a prompt I have provided the example of all the contracts deployed on the COTI. I dumped all the data, so that's why maybe this AI tool start hallucinating, and as I have showed in the Windsurf, they don't provide the proper doc here. Okay, and in the cursor, they provide the proper doc here. So as I have provided the doc in the cursor, it was working properly with the etherjs code. But I also provided the doc in the mpc library in the cursor, so it start creating, I guess, the contract with so many functionalities. So maybe it start struggling with the contract. So that's the point. Like if you start using a tool a lot, you know, continuously start using a tool, like how much data, how much context you need to provide, so that it can take much lesser time that it has taken. And like if you can see,
So preparation, in short.
yeah, like repetition is the key. You can only learn the tool and understand the tool by repetition. And I think by this live stream, if the viewer can easily understand like how they can provide the information. And here we are using the two tool and taking the help from these two tools. Like I have also created the read script here now. So if the error solved, now the block problem has been solved, so it's easily reading the state, and it's like the amount it has minted, and it can easily read it understand it properly right now. Okay. But this small issue, I think, has taken more than half an hour. It was not solving, so I keep putting the links of the examples where these issue can be available with the COTI examples, COTI library examples. And now let's just check if like cursor can do this with this smart contract or not.
Yeah, one good exercise for the future, for example, is to ask the AI to provide you the prompt once you have the solution ready, and ask the AI to provide exactly what was the key points that was used to produce the outcome. I remember that I did in the past, and then the AI provided me like an extensive prompt, including everything that was necessary to reproduce the same result in another tool, right? But in that way, you can understand exactly what is exactly the most important points that we need to provide next time that you want to create something from scratch. For example, using COTI, because most of the adjustments that we did today was related to the code, right? The COTI ethers, for
Yeah.
example, instead of COTI standards, and how to encode and deploy the contract. And it's like a lessons learned that you can ask the AI the lessons learned, and the AI provide you exactly that.
I can imagine the prompt
But
would
just to,
include all the nudges we gave it. Indeed, with ignore this, or no, stay with
yeah, you
this
can ask like
course.
to consolidate,
Yeah.
right? To consolidate all the learnings into a single prompt with, so you can replicate it. It's interesting exercise, right?
Yeah, so as you can say, it created a complete report when it works, right?
Really cool.
So I think that's enough for today. For Windsurf versus Cursor, everything has seen the tussle between Windsurf and Cursor. But what do you think? Like, which one works better than another? If we compare this example of the coding.
That's a good question. I'm biased because I work with Windsurf a lot and I like the tool. But I see that Windsurf can be useful, as you mentioned in your presentation, for front-end developers. And I agree with that because we have some built-in tools that help front-end developers on that. But as a backend developer, I also like the Windsurf a lot. I mean, it's of course lacking some functionalities like the docs, right? That we have in Cursor, that you can index the docs and refer to it in the prompt. That's really interesting. But I agree with the difference. I mean, if you say like Windsurf can be more useful to front end developers and Cursor more to the back end developers. I agree with that. But in my previous experience, I have used Windsurf a lot, and I mean, it fits my needs in terms of development. So both tools are great, right? Of course, that the prompt sometimes it's the
Yeah.
key, right? To have a good result independently of the tool. We need to, start improving prompts, and also depending on the context we need to add a different data to the prompts to learn how to create what we want. But in the end of the day, I think both of tools are great. My personal preference is Windsurf, but it's just personal preference. But yeah, really like it, the live stream, because we could see in the real life how it works for 2.5 hours. It's a good way to see it running in the real life. So really nice.
And even
Yeah.
with that, of course, we're still iterating faster than you would without these tools to get there, most likely. Yeah. If you have to build it from scratch.
Yeah, like it was a great tussle, I guess, between the tool. I was thinking like Cursor will beat it. It will like Cursor will do it fast, because I have a bias with the Cursor. I use Cursor daily, but that's the problem with the Cursor I face daily. Like it's a 10 p.m. in India right now. When I start using Cursor in the morning, it has a limit or guess, I think, and when I consume all the limit up to the evening, it start hallucinating and giving late responses and all. Maybe that was the reason. It happens with the Cursor this time, and here I also see is like Winsub done really great with the contact deployment. It just stuck with the one error, and I think I didn't provided the proper example. When I give the proper repository example, it solved it, and now all the functions are running properly. So I think Windsurf has solved it in a half an hour, but Cursor hallucinated a lot. I can see. And any question, guys, or any of you, anything you want to say?
No, I think I'm happy we have a finalized result as part of the stream as well. It's very satisfying.
Yeah.
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 I think it also maybe depends on, because you described the different roles. I mean, there are dedicated front-end tools out there, AI generator.
Yeah.
I can imagine if you're building let's say if you're iterating a product, that you, in case of Windsurf, to directly have the pipeline including the front end might make sense. For quick MVPs, let's say. I can also imagine if you're building, let's say, the functionalities or part of a bigger project, then Cursor would make sense. That's my impression, at least. Most of the people joining our physical sessions are building out ideas, so they start with the visual context. Yeah.
And I think that's it for our. And if you want to, Robert, share for the upcoming live stream any information to the viewers.
Yes, we do. We have. I think, Davi, the next one is yours, isn't it? First one.
Yeah. Next week.
And talk about security.
Next Tuesday. Right. Exactly. We go over some prompts and and we try to see the results in terms of prompt injection and prompt misuse, and see the differences that we can have from different editors. We are we are going to try to add some malicious code and see how the AI handle that, right?
Very curious.
I think that's it for all, guys. And if you want to learn more on the Cursor, we have already uploaded a live stream on the Cursor. And if you want to learn more about contact development on the COTI, we already created so many great live stream on that too. So visit our channel, and we'll meet you guys in the next live stream. Till then, take care. Bye bye.
Stay COTI.
Bye.
Stay COTI.